their own way. Now, the person that made that picture, would they consider what this kid did to be wrong? Can't, if it looks right? Art is subjective. So it's like, you can't really say which way is the right way to approach some shit. Even if you have success and even if you don't have success, it doesn't really matter. It only matters to what you consider success is and the density of that bubble that you're living in. Because if you go out and you meet so many different people, then you'll get a whole bunch of different ways to be successful, right? Have mad different fucking people telling you different shit.
It always goes back to this thing where, like, you see these artists. Oh, by the way, cheers.
Yeah, bro.
Real talk. One time.
All that. It's episode 8. Low frequency. Back again. Told you guys I'll be back for another one. It's episode 8. This is low frequency. We below industry, below politics, but we talk about all of it. I'm here right now with my boy JT.
It's good.
Came through, pulled up on me again. This is open space. It's not for the closed mind. So like, if you don't really care about the things that we talk about, you probably shouldn't subscribe, even though you probably going to it.
I mean, the way this for watching it, right?
Yeah, it's the way life.
Man. Yeah, no, it goes back to this whole thing where, like, I don't want to judge anybody by its cover. I try not to, especially now, because, there's a level of success for just about everything and everywhere, every person. Even people that might deem controversial or whatever, like, you're still successful. You managed to pull off putting a name out there for yourself in a way. Does that make sense? And regardless if it's good or bad, now the only thing you do is try to maintain that same thing.
It's almost like when you're in high school and you become popular, right? And now you just want to stay popular. Crazy, man.
I just feel like it's one big popularity game, but we're not in high school anymore.
We just don't, to a degree. I mean, some people leave high school and still keep the same mindset.
Which is fine. But it's like, I'm saying, like, we're not in high school, like, we're not in a specific building where you see the same people over and over again. Like, we're in the old world.
I don't want to get too, I don't want to get way too, like, fucking, like, I don't want to fucking overthink the shit, but it's like, we are in a sort of building. It's not in a literal sense, but we wake up every day. And I love you, JT, but we don't see each other every day. And
That's true.
we wake up in this routine of a life, and it may not be the same exact assholes, but we see the same people every day, just different forms of them. And we still have to do things in a timely manner, and we still have to, like, all of the things that taint us in school does carry on in, like, your personal life. It's when you choose to break out of that system. It's when you choose to break out of that routine. Like, moments like how you came through through the podcast. Moments like that, when you go on the stage, when you go to record, moments like that is when you break in the system, when you break in the routine. You're going against what normal people would be doing in that sense. You're cutting class, like that rush. We always like rush for that thing, that feeling of that, I'm not with the pack. I'm leaving the pack for the moment. I want to see the world. Some people, bro, I say this shit all the time, and I feel like I stagnate myself based on like relationships and based on like people that I choose to put energy and time into. But I really want to see the world. There's so many people that say that, bro. Like, they say that they want to go, they want to travel the world, they want to do all of these things, and before you know it, They let so much time go by. They had to pay so many bills. They got into a committed relationship where that goal wasn't matched by the other person. There's so many things that keep us away from the things that we truly said we wanted when we was younger. And then those things just become things that we wished, and then things that we could have thought we would have did, and then things that we think about every now and then.
Yeah, it's weird. And sometimes it's overwhelming and exhausting because there's too much to think about anyway. So just thinking is time consuming, and anytime you sit and think, you're just killing time, quote unquote, but you're also using that time to think.
You know, I came across some shit. Crazy. Came across some shit. I was thinking, like, you ever feel like, and of course you feel like this because, like, alright, so I don't really like to compare. I started to try to do that less. I did that a lot when I was younger and shit. Like, oh, I wish I could do this, and this person is doing that. Like, you know, whenever I see people doing shit on like YouTube and shit like that, people running up views on YouTube, I wish I could be like that. Things like that, comparing things like that. And I'm only bringing all of this up because I feel like you're way more far ahead musically than I am, right? And I'm only saying that to say sometimes I feel like I'm running out of time. So,
I always feel like that.
right? No, that's why I brought it up, because I feel like if I feel like this, then more than likely you would feel like that, right? And what me thinking like that, it brought me to a state of like worry, and it really made me start thinking about the aspect of time, and it really made me wonder, like, if we calculating time the right way. Like, I feel like it's a possibility that there's no such thing as killing time. Like, people consider, like, you see how we have timelines? People consider time like a thing that just goes straight. Like, you start here and then you end here, right? The day and then the end of the day. I don't think time works like that, bro. I think time is like a flow. I think time is like something that courses. It's not something that drives or something that like flies straight ahead. It's some shit that streams. It's some shit that fucking flows. Like I said, it's not. And in that sense, if that's true, to be more specific, then my now and your now is two different times. If that's true, right? If time is a flow and it's not just one singularity line. And that means, because like there's this, I forgot the guy's name, but there's this guy that came out with this crazy theory of like multiple worlds, and multiple realities and shit like that, right? The multiverse, right? And if that's
Peter Parker.
and if that's true, right? I forgot the guy's name, he's a philosopher. But if that's true, then my timeline and your timeline do not coexist, right? You know how people say, like, if you go back in time and you fuck up some shit in the past, then you can fuck up some shit in the future. Like how fucking Back to the Future movie, like how that shit is. If what that philosopher said is true, then that whole movie is just like debunked, and nothing like that works. And I'm only bringing up all of this shit, bro, because if we are calculating time wrong, then it's really dependent on how you use it. If after I came to this conclusion on our figment and our grasp on time not being true, it's not some shit that you could be like, oh, I'll work on this shit for X amount of days and then I'll get better. That's not how time works. You can't calculate it. You gotta just do it. Like, you know how people compare time and love.
With love?
Yeah. Because these are two things that you can't touch, but these are two things that you can feel. Right? And they say actions speak louder than words when it comes to love and shit like that. just like how with time, you can't calculate it. You just got to do it. You got to put the work in. And what I mean about calculating, if you at work, you got to do an 8-hour shift. If you're there, as soon as you clock in, every 5 minutes you keep looking at your watch, you're calculating, and it's gonna feel like you've been there for fucking days, right? But if you go in there and you just do the work, you put your head down, you don't even worry about it, you just do the work, then the time will fly. That's what I mean. Like, in that sense, you're not calculating time. So if you take that same aspect and work it into your normal, not even normal, but just the things that you want to accomplish in life, you don't worry about how much time you put into something, you actually just do it. And then when you pick your head up, oh shit, however amount of time passed, and it probably won't feel like it. That's how I look at shit, like, and that's what made me stop thinking like, yo, I guess I'm wasting time. I used to really feel like that. Like if I'm wasting time, like if I'm letting time go, really put me in depression states. But once I started thinking like that, it really kicked me out of it. Because I'm like, that can't be the way the world works. People fucking go to jail for years. People go to jail for years. And somehow they come out of jail looking younger than when they went in. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And it's because when you go in, you're not really focused. Some people focus on time, but the people that don't, when they come out, it feels like if you was in a time machine or some shit.
I see what you mean.
It's very hard to like understand. I don't really got the full. I know I sound crazy. I don't really got the right handle on it. A lot of the times I feel like I'm not. A lot of times I feel like I'm not good enough. Like if there's no silver lining.
Yeah, I think I understand.
But on the flip side, it could be and then can't be true for two reasons. To be great, other people got to want to be you. It's the only way. If you don't have a spectacle kind of factor in you, then it won't happen. You'll always just be considered a cool person or just a dope person. You cross over that threshold and it's like, yo, I want that nigga like me. I want her like me. Like, I wish I could do the shit that she is or he is
Would you
doing.
consider a cool person as a has-been as well? Because I was told by people who have been in the game, they're like, you have this energy, you're authentic, you're this, you're that, you know, but you're going to be a has-been. Because,
Said that to you?
yes,
Said that you're gonna be a has-been?
I have a high chance of becoming a has-been because of my age and where I'm at and all this stuff.
To what degree?
It's hard to say.
A has-been is someone that the world knew and they forgot about. So, to what degree you would have to be recognized first?
Has-been as in, like, I was that dude that used to do showcases and all that stuff. Like what I am to you now, and then I stop. Basically.
That means you quit. That'll make you a has-been. A has-been has to have some sort of gratification at one point.
No, but to you, you see me as this guy, and then I just stop.
I don't see you as somebody.
If that was the case, I'm
I
saying.
don't see you as a celebrity. I see you as a trailblazer. I see you as.
Wow, that's a big. That's a big. Wow. I'm gonna remember that. Okay, continue. No one's ever said this to me before. That's crazy. That's funny. Yeah, continue.
What I mean by that is like, whatever position you're in, you'll be excelling. So it's like, in order for you to become a has-been, it would mean that at some point you've reached your pinnacle.
Oh, I'm getting that mixed up with trendsetter.
Oh.
I was like, what? Okay, got it. But that's cool.
Meaning, like, yeah, like even with like think about people like that I like to really think about artists, people that paint, because their life with a successful their life with a successful artist's life, like I mean like a musician, their life is so synonymous. You create an album, that's a work of art right there. And there's painters that create paint, arts of work, and then they disappear. Gone from existence. 5 to
Banksy.
right? And then they come back.
Banksy. Wow.
During those 10 years gap, what? Oh, look at this guy, he's an has-been. You don't even know. This thing about to drop the next fire shit. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, you're right.
it's only when you have reached your pinnacle, like there's nothing else this guy can do. Like,
So, one example of a has-been or one-hit wonders?
to a degree, but even one hit wonders, they didn't really even reach their pinnacle. It was just one hit.
Well, they had something.
Yeah, that's why they got that term, one hit wonder, and that has been. That's why it's two different terms. Because
So has
has
been someone
been has
that
to be.
is continuously being successful.
and then they fall off like a MC Hammer. MC
And a
Hammer.
chance,
Yeah,
in a sense.
yeah, like you had
Chance is
a-
still Chance, but he's not Chance.
You get what I mean? Like you had
Gotcha.
a successful career, and then it's like, what happened?
Facts.
You gave us everything you could give us.
Because the big day was the big flop and it backfired. And you know what? Good for him for getting sued for it. Because it's like, he went against what the manager was telling him anyway.
I have a reason.
My thing is, I'm not saying he deserved it because fuck him and blah, blah, blah. I feel like if I was in Chance's position, if I'm going by my gut feeling, if I feel like I'm going to go against the grain, because I felt like that for a long period of time too. Like, yo, like I feel like, no, this is how it's going to go down. Gut feeling, gut feeling, gut feeling, gut feeling. And I'm going to just drop it without anyone telling me shit, then I'm going to do it.
Why do you think he flopped? I think I know why.
Because, well, one, it wasn't no acid rap. I mean, of course, as you get older, you know, more power to him. I'm not taking that away from him. I want Chance to live his best life, of course.
You don't though.
Huh? Yeah, I know.
Just continue.
I know, that's funny. That was funny. I didn't even think of it like that. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No, but also because, like, he just, I don't know. It's hard to say. It just lost that pizzazz that I was looking for.
I think the reason why he flopped is because he got married.
I didn't want to say it.
Bro, I take this shit so serious.
Oh! What you told me before about Drake and Tory Lanez and Chris Brown and Trey Songz,
Yeah.
the reason why these motherfuckers are so relevant is because they're single. They're baby fathers, but they're single, which means bitches want to fuck them extra, right? You told me this before.
Yeah, but that's a lot to do with it, but it's also when you're single, you're still hoping.
Wow, I actually remember that shit. That's crazy.
When you're single, you're still hoping. You can have all the money in the world. You can have everything gratified for you, but you're still hoping. You're still hoping that something is better, something is coming. When it's nothing. There's nothing on this planet, bro, that can compare to that feeling. That feeling that one day you're gonna meet someone, there's nothing that can compare to that. When you're writing and you're thinking about that, when you're drinking and you're thinking about that, when you're smoking and you're thinking about that.
So you're saying because he got married, he settled.
Once you get, all right. When I said I thought about this a lot. Human nature is us guys as providers. We provide for our family and we keep our family safe. And the girl's role is they nurture, and you know they provide a loving home, warm home for the family. Yeah,
More emotional based,
right? Us as humans, bro, like as humans. That's why if you're trying to like, oh, you want to become a lawyer, and then you meet a girl in fucking college. You get her pregnant. You wind up not going to law school because you gotta get a job and you gotta take care of the kid. And you know all that shit. In our brain, our DNA, like our body is structured for that life. So no matter where you're at in life, the second you take that step, your body automatically changes. Like no matter what you're going through, you automatically change the second you jump into a relationship. You start wanting different things. You start plotting different things. And you quote unquote change your entire being. So he flopped because that wasn't Chance the rapper anymore in a sense. He became a completely new artist. So it was like, that's why he's still sick. That's why he's still successful, because he is talented. But that's a completely new artist.
He made a new bag. He made a bag for himself off of the first 3 mixtapes, right? And
that was Chance the rapper. That was Chance the rapper.
That was Chance that nigga. Literally.
And then once he tied the knot, he became whatever his real name is. And he should have just changed his name from Chance the Rapper to something else, because
Chancellor the Gospel Man.
Because then it would have came off better, because it was like once you take that step, you're a completely different person, bro. Completely. There's nothing you can do. Even Jay-Z. Why do you think Jay-Z don't put out records like that? Unless it's highly political or highly controversial.
I mean, it's different because he's been in the game for years and he's a successful businessman on top of that. Not to say that Chance isn't, but
Jay-Z knows this shit that I'm telling you. Because he knows when he met Beyonce, he was already 3 classic tapes in. So he knew even if he wanted to, like, that's what I'm saying, it really depends on what you consider success. Us, we sitting here discussing Chance flopping. But if Chance is happy, then he's happy.
right.
Now, back to what I was saying, like when I made that remark, and I was like, no, you don't really. People that's fans, we, like, subconsciously, we want our favorite artists to be going through turmoil, because that's when you give the best fucking quality kind of music. Regardless if your life is good. You can't have a good life and then distribute great music. It's just never been done. Sad to say, it's just never been done. There is people that come out with good music, like I'm happy, you know, there's people that come out with good music and they're in good spirits. But those aren't the songs that people tend to grab for when it's time to really go to music. People don't really grasp towards those songs. Those songs are morely like background music for whenever you're doing something. It's not something that you will really zone out to. And those zone out to musics are the ones that people go and spend mad fucking bread on. Because they're close to death and they need something to hold on to.
Acid rap. Which is why acid rap is probably his most successful, because of that. What you just said. People gravitate more towards the lo-fi, trippy, I'm gonna get drugged up, blah blah blah.
How many fucking
Not even
people
Chance,
are rich?
just in general.
How many people are rich, bro? It's not that many fucking people are rich. And that's why it's like, that's why they have to pander to us. Because the rich people, they not living a bad life. I was just talking to my boy about this shit. Like the whole, like, cause DJ Academics, he was talking about the 6ix9ine and Meek Mill shit. And how it's funny how, like, Meek Mill, like, all these gangster rappers, like, not even singling Meek Mill out, but like a lot of gangster rappers, they say that they live a certain type of life. But it's like, once you become successful, and like your success in music has gotten you out the hood, and you don't no longer have to gangbang, you're not living that type of life no more. You, like, 6 times out of 10, you're not even talking the same way you talked before. You're a completely different person, bro. Like, you're finishing your sentences. Like, you're making calls in the middle of the day about something that has nothing to do with
Trying to make
anything about
investments so that more money will come into your lifestyle anyway.
You're saying thank you and you're saying thank you and I'll see you again, sir, and shit like that. Like, you're using different type of fucking formalities that you've never used before. But just 2 years ago, you were selling crack. So it's like, it's hard, and it's hard to make millions of dollars and sell to people that only have that lifestyle if you don't live that lifestyle. That's why a lot of fucking artists like to think about, they try to strip, like my nigga Jamie Foxx. I was watching Jamie Foxx, he was talking to Wayne, and he was like how he went to somebody's house. It was another high class comedian. He said it was him, Martin, Dave Chappelle, and Eddie Murphy. No, it was Eddie Murphy. It was Eddie Murphy. And he was like how he was at Eddie Murphy's house. And Eddie Murphy's house was all clean and shit. Like, it was all clean, like nice floors and nice everything and shit like that. And Eddie was talking, not Eddie, Fox was talking to Dave. He was like, yo, this nigga gotta dirty up his house. Like, you having a clean ass house like this, it's gonna keep you clean. Like, you're not gonna understand where we came from. And then Jamie went into this whole rant. He was talking to Lil Wayne on his podcast. Jamie went into this whole rant, like, yo, I like to keep my crib like a little fucked up, like, so I can know, you know, like, cause like where I come from, like, that shit is what made me who I am, like, and the day that I lose that is like I'm no longer like I'm no longer who I'm trying to be, and then I'm starting to panda. Because then it's like I'm starting to pretend like I know what it's like being poor. I'm starting to pretend like I know what it's like for y'all to go through this shit. Making all of my type of jokes that I make. He's like, I have to sometimes strip myself of like these royalties and the loyalties that I have so I can live a certain life, so I can understand. And that's where the real type of jokes come from. That same aspect gravitates towards music too. Because if you don't live that certain type of life, that's why a lot of the gangster type of rappers still try to keep people that's in the streets around them so they can like live vicariously through them. Like, yo, I was just in the street, shit is getting crazy, bro. And you can live and get energy off of that and go and make a record. But at that time, you're pandering. And that's the shit that academics was talking about. Like, yo, how these niggas still talk about they going on the blocks, they sliding, they gonna slide, they gonna spin, all of this crazy shit. But it's like, y'all niggas not living that type of life. Like, y'all niggas is in Noble. Y'all niggas is in Saks. Like, y'all niggas ain't doing that type of shit. Y'all niggas is living a real comfy type of life. When there's people that's really out here with it. Like, really out here with it. That's the shit that, and it's funny because Meek Mills went through that same shit again. He had sent a tweet to some Philly rappers like, yo, I'll sign. Look, nigga said I'll sign any Philly rapper right now if y'all niggas was to stop the beat and put the guns down. That's what he said. And the Philly niggas is like, yo, you coming from where we come from, you should know that the shit that we going through is way more serious than us putting down the guns, bro. The fuck is you talking about? Fuck I look like putting down the guns after they just killed my brother yesterday. They just killed my brother yesterday. Like my brother. They just killed my brother yesterday. And you telling me to just go and sign a fucking Philly record? Like, yo, boom, I'm with Meek now. How I'ma look? Like, you get so removed. That's what I'm saying. From Meek's point of view, like, looking at it, you just like, yo, he's just telling you to put the guns down. Like, that's stop the violence. Like, what's wrong with that? But it's like, when you get so removed from the type of lifestyle that people have to live, it's like, then you start making these type of crazy ass offers. Like, that's fucking insane. Like, and it took me a little while to understand that shit too. Because at first I wasn't mad at Meek. Like, yo, it sounded like he was trying to do something good for the hood. Like, it sounded like he was trying to tell y'all niggas to stop. Like, it don't sound like he was saying anything wrong. But I be doing that type of shit too. And once shit get crazy, it's like, yo, nah, he did it. He told me I didn't have to. He said. That's why it's good to just stay yourself. Not try to portray some shit that you're not. That's what they always say. Because you'll get caught up one day.
It'll always come back to you.
How could it not?
You feel like that shit's inevitable?
It's inevitable, and it could be a good way. Because it's inevitable. So if you use it, it could be a good thing. Whatever you put out there comes back to you. It's inevitable. And you can use it in a good way. You put positive vibes out, it's going to come back to you. Yeah. You know, people say nice guys finish last, but that all depends on who's measuring when last is. Right? Like, we talked about that with Tom, bro. Like, I really don't consider it that shit no more, bro. Like, I was thinking like, yo, if I became fucking rich and famous at 40, I'm 26. Turned 27 April 11th. But if I became rich and famous at 40, bro, that's what I was thinking. 40. Like, yo, 40 years old, boom, it happens. Would I feel like I wasted my life? How? When it happens is when it happens, right? Really think about what I just said. When it happens is when it happens, right? So, would I be worried about that type of shit? Or would I be worried about what I'm about to do at that moment? Like, I have the money now. I want to sit there and be pouting like, yo, damn, yo, if I had this shit 10 years ago. So. No. Why would you sit there and be worried about that when it's happening right now? It's happening. Whatever it led to that led to that moment for it to happen, wouldn't it feel great? It's gonna feel great no matter when it happens, but if it was to happen for me then, wouldn't it just feel great regardless? What? Nah, I don't want it. I'm too old. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm too old for money.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro. The fuck are you talking about? Like, oh nah, it's happening too late for me. Nah, bro, I don't want that shit. The fuck you mean you don't want that shit? The fuck you mean you don't want that shit? That's exactly what I'm talking about, bro. What the fuck you mean you don't want that shit? People are willing to start paying to come and see you now. So you saying you don't want it now because you feel like you're too old for it? I don't get it.
Okay. I guess it depends, you know. Well, I'm not saying I agree with it. Because I would feel like that.
You would feel like what?
Like at one point. Not that I don't want money. I want money, of course. But like I don't want to go through all this. I'm too old for this. Like that feeling. Like
All do what? Do all what? Wouldn't everything you be doing be different? That's what I mean. Like you will only feel like you're too old for this if you're going to fucking perform at the Teen Choice Awards and you're 40. Then it's like, yo, why niggas didn't come get me 10 years ago? But if you got famous and you about to perform on the BET Awards because you 40 and you grown man and you doing grown man things, you 40, you just stepped in your first year, Jay-Z hollering at you because you 40, you grown man, you do grown man things. You know what I mean? Like it won't be like if you like wasted time. It will feel you'll get accepted the right way that you get accepted. Why? Because it's your age. Your age will be accepted around your age. People don't give a fuck about that shit. They only give a fuck about what you're famous for. They don't give a fuck about that shit. Like think about and I thought about that shit too, bro. Acting. Think about people that fucking
Morgan Freeman.
Think about people that make they fucking break mid fucking years in their life. It seems like it's like so late. But bro, once you become famous, you're famous. You're famous now. You're famous now. And it seems like every single day is a new day. Every single day is a new journey. Every fucking single day is a new birthday. It won't feel like that 40 years that you just was living. And every day you'll have 40 years to compare it to. Yo, you wildin'. You'll be having so much more fun than a 20-year-old that just got the check that only had 20 years of life experience to compare it to. He's sitting there with $10 million. You sitting there with $10 million. You have lived 40 years of your life now.
Now you're just gonna say fuck.
You know exactly everything that comes with everything. That 20-year-old don't know shit. 20-year-old first bitch he meet. She say some crazy shit to him. Boom, she pregnant. 40-year-old first bitch he meet, he already know. He done lived a life. He know that bitch don't mean it. Like, this is what I mean, bro. It's a whole different bag. That's why I started thinking about it like, yo, whenever it happens, I'm not gonna be fucking mad. I'm gonna just be happy the whole way through, up until that moment comes. And it can only not happen if you, like how you said, yo, I'm known for doing showcases and then I just stop. That's the only way it can not happen, is if you just was like, yo, it's not gonna happen. do this shit. Fuck with this shit. Relax. Once you start thinking like that, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Why the fuck would it? Why the fuck would it? Like, tell me why the fuck would it ever happen for you if that's your plan? You're like, yeah, I used to do that shit. Nah, I used to do that shit. I used to be doing all the showcases and shit. That shit never happened for me, bro. I'll be sitting there talking to that person like, I don't know why, bro. You're supposed to be 60. Like, yo, I can make it happen. I can make it happen. Let me write this shit for you. When that bad happens is when it happens, bro. The plan is to get rich and change your neighbors.
Yeah, man.
That's the plan at the end of the day. That's the biggest plan at the end of the day. A lot of shit starts to lose its appeal after a while. I thought about this shit so much, bro. I thought about it so much.
My dad was telling me a story about Nicky Jam.
Yeah.
He's in his 40s now. He just made it not too long ago, a couple years ago. But for a while, he was going through stuff. He went through hardships with his family, Puerto Rico, I could be wrong. But, long story short, people went through a bunch of bullshit just to get to that point. Now he's in his 30s, 40s, right? He's successful now, yeah.
You think I guarantee you he's way more happy than somebody like Lil Uzi Vert, who's at the top of that.
Listen, that nigga. Okay. So, this is one of the reasons why I'm actually glad I don't listen to artists like him. And it's not because I don't.
You listen to Uzi?
I don't.
Fuck with Uzi.
My thing is, here's the thing. It's not even because I hate Uzi. I don't like it. I don't have a problem with Uzi.
Personality-wise.
Like, Uzi cool. He seemed cool. But because he's young, he's just so out there. You know? In a good way. Like, his mindset is so broad. I just think him putting that thing on his head is cool. He's worth money, you know, I guess. But I don't know what his purpose with that is, so I'm not gonna get too much into it. But I just think it's a little. Huh?
He did that shit because he could. Bro, when you're young, our generation is only getting worse and
That
worse.
nigga's younger than me, bro.
Our generation is getting worse and worse. So, the more money that young people get, it's not a good thing, bro. It really isn't. It looks good when they're smiling and they got the money, but it's like, it's not a good thing, bro. It's not.
My only thing is, like, I personally don't see the point of having $6 million or something on my forehead. Because to me, it just sounded, everyone made the whole meme with the division, they take the rock and, you know, Thanos, all that shit. And it was funny. I thought the same thing. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm like, I'm about to just rip that shit off your head. I'm sorry, Uzi, I love you, but nah. But I'm sure, I don't know what his mindset was. I'm sure he probably thought he was royalty, or he probably thought it was a symbolic reference to something in his life. I don't know. I'm not judging.
Whatever the reason was, he did it because he could do it, and he fucking did it.
And he's not. Like what you said, I'm not saying, I don't know this exactly, but compared to a 40-year-old like Nicky Jam or whatever, he's not as happy.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible.
The
And
fun-
you know what else? That'll tear someone like that apart. It'll tear someone like that apart, bro. Like if somebody was like, if God forbid, if any one of us make it past our 30s.
Sorry, I'm listening.
Yeah, if any one of us makes it past our 30s, God forbid, and
God willing.
yeah, right. God forbid. What are we
God
talking
willing.
about?
God willing.
Yeah, and what you call it? We run into one of the rappers that have been here for a little while, like that's young, but they've been here for a little while, like a 10+. It's like we ever get into that bag, like yo, there's no way you're more happy than I am. Yeah. Like, yo, there's no way you're more happy than I am, bro.
This looks like something you could like roll on.
Right?
And just
like
press
that
it on
shit.
a shirt or some shit. That's fire. I'll put it right here. Marijuana. Woo!
I really fuck with that shit. I got that shit for the deli. They got bad different flavors in them shit. Fuck with that shit. This your shit?
Huh? No.
For real?
Oh, that yeah.
Cause look, I got the exact same shit.
I like this shit because you could
Oh, now I got the small one.
pick it out and then
Yeah.
you know, stuff your bud or your
I
whatever.
never saw the small one like this before.
I rarely see those.
Right? And I got
Those are hard to find.
yeah.
Like these are nice and useful, but they're not these. You need these pieces. You
Some shit you can take off too.
Oh, you can? Oh shit.
Yeah. It's just a small version.
Yeah, you
of that
couldn't tell. That's true. Oh, I see. It's just a different size.
Yeah, and I got this shit. Feel them shits.
Oh, lit. That's what's up.
Hell yeah, bro. That shit is a lifesaver.
Like 2-3 big lighters, you good for like 3 weeks.
Or, yeah, like I was saying, bro. Somebody like that, they get in a position in a room with somebody that like been famous for a little while. That'll hurt their feelings. Explaining that type of shit to them, like, yo, there's no way you're more happy than I am. Like I've come from a life of turmoil. I've come from so much so much tragedy. There's no way I finally made it. There's no way you feel better than me, bro. I don't give a fuck how much money you got. There's no way. Every one of my dollars feel 10 times better than every one of yours.
I was gonna say, to add on to what you were saying earlier with Boosie and Nicky Jam, just the 20-year gap alone, I would have been more grateful. Like, wow, it took me this long, but I'm here now.
Think about how much of that gratifying feeling you get when you step on stage and everybody is singing your songs from that long.
My
bro.
net worth may not be as big as Jay-Z, but if I'm one of those people suited up in the same room, sipping champagne with all the same people in the same room, gentlemen, businessman.
Bro, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. That's why I like niggas like Benny the Butcher and shit like that. Because these are people that... Benny, I looked at Benny, and Benny's been doing this shit for mad long. He's tried. And he's tried and tried and tried. From Benny doing from the shit from way back in the day. He had shit like the sound of his music sonically was completely different. He was doing new age type of rap. Like the style, the type of flow. He was doing everything that was out at that moment. And I'm talking about shit from like 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. Around that time. He was doing shit that he was making music from the sound that was out for that moment. That's not how you gonna make it. Why? Because what you doing? You only knocking on the industry door like, yo, I got some potato salad. Nigga, we got 1,000 fucking potato salads in here. You get what I mean? Like, you gotta come to the door with some shit they like, oh, bring that in here. We need that. Bring that in here, bro. We may need that for later. You gotta bring something that's new. That's why they always asking you, yo, what you gonna bring to hip hop? What you gonna bring that's new?
Authenticity. I mean, that's subjective because anyone could say that, really. Me, now that you say that, it makes me think about myself as an artist too, and even about you as an artist. Like, we are authentic, right? We're obviously, we speak well, we're cool, we get along with each other because we authentic, we real as fuck to each other, right?
I thought about that shit so much, and that's what really drove me to make the tape that I made.
I'm still waiting for that 1994 project.
Yeah.
Feel me? Don't forget.
It's like that's what really made me to go towards that sound, because it's like at that point I know, and it's like right after that it's like it's really the foundation of what everything that I'm trying to start. Like, I started writing, and I never started feeling more and more better about this shit. Writing 2 series. And
Series? Like tapes?
no, like shows.
Oh, like
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah, like shows. One of them is like a live action comedy, and the other one is like an animation.
I could picture having see you executive producing some shows.
Yeah,
like that.
bro. Because I feel like music is one way to express, but there's certain views and certain thoughts on life that you can't get through music. It's more appropriate through speech. That's why I created this podcast. Certain parts of me has to be expressed through a different aspect. Like,
This is another source of income anyway. I was gonna tell you, not to sound biased, and not just because I'm cool with you or because I'm being nice or whatever, but like if I didn't know that you was a artist or creative of some sort, I would have assumed you were a businessman. right? And I could picture you still making it in the industry, quote unquote, where you may not even have to make music a goddamn day in your life, right? You could still be working behind the scenes in one of those big ass corporation rooms, studio rooms, where they monitor the TV screens, and you're just executive producing and action. You're that nigga, like you just in charge.
I really started
Coordinator.
yeah,
I don't know if it's the right word.
I really started appreciating
TV coordinator.
Yeah, bro. I really started appreciating like
Where the money's at.
film and movies and the whole filmmaking process and production and shit like that. Started appreciating it a lot more because that whole I'm getting too old feeling, that feeling never goes away. But once I thought about it from this light, it's selfish, but it's like it's fucking brilliant.
You know what's weird? Once you make money, you don't feel old anymore.
Yeah.
Well, duh. But like, once you're famous, you're not old anymore. You're famous, like you said. You're just
That's what I was talking about earlier. But also to speak again to what I was saying, because it's like, I was thinking like, yo, capsulating, like, hypothetically, you know, fame doesn't come in for a while. I want to be able to encapsulate my actions, encapsulate the things that I was thinking of, and that type of shit that I had running through my head. So to get it through a podcast, dope. That's one way. But to get it on script, bro, and to get it through film, that is more than anyone can fucking even ask for. Like, when I thought about it like that, it's like, yo, bro, acting is fucking amazing. Like, in the acting world, right now, like, if me and you, hypothetically, was to just be like, yo, let's quit our day jobs and fucking drive to LA and try to become, like, fucking famous actors, right? In Hollywood, right? If we... No, you gotta hear me out. You really gotta hear me out. Okay. And this is a hypothetical. I wouldn't expect any of us to do this, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, if we just did this right now, man, right? And if we had a script and we both believed in it, there is literally a huge chance that our lives can change. Just off of that. And based off of that, you know what they would call us? Two kids. And the music industry, if me and you say, yo, let's quit our day jobs and let's run to a record label and try to get signed, you know what they would call us? Two guys, two adults. We're no longer kids.
Two teens, two friends.
That's pushing it.
Two friends or two brothers.
Yeah, in the music industry, they only go for people that's like 14, 15, like 13. That's when they really feel like they can squeeze out the most money. And I'm only talking about the high execs at fucking record labels. Now, this, like, because of entrepreneurship, yes, more and more people have made it in their mid-20s and then their late 30s and shit like that. It's more and more possible now. It's even damn near possible now. But what I'm only speaking from the perspective of the studio execs. They will choose a 13-year-old before a 26, 27-year-old any fucking day of the week. But in Hollywood, that is a completely different conversation. In Hollywood, they would rather work with a 26-year-old than a 13-year-old. Why? Child labor laws. Why? There's
experience.
Yes, in Hollywood, in your late 20s to your early 20s, you're considered a fucking baby. You're a fucking baby. Most of these fucking huge movie actors, they first big role was in their late 20s. And they be talking and they be playing fucking high school in their 20s. In their late 20s. So people that me and you, like I just said, if we was to go to Hollywood, bro, with a script,
we would act like teenagers.
We can get cast as teenagers, we can get cast as so many different things. Just based off of that. That's why I just said we'll be considered kids. Like real kids. And then especially of the fact that if we're smart, that's even more. So that's why I really thought about it, like, yo, it's so much more than just music. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, he's slaying so much ass. Man, you think you don't get the same feeling when it's like premiere time? Like as like when your album drops.
Slaying so much ass.
Yeah, my nigga Leo. But I'm just saying, like when Drake drops his album, Certified Lover Boy, when he drops, boom, and he's going on stage to perform, boom, you're getting all those emotions. You think the actor doesn't get that same exact drive when the movie drops and people are going to see it? When it's fucking premiere night, you going, your movie is number one, or when you just won an Oscar and you gotta go accept it. Accepting an Oscar is way better than accepting Best New Artist. I can tell you that.
Or winning an Emmy or a Tony or basically EGOT.
Bro, because these type of awards are way more like, it's more rewarding than just getting a Best New Artist, because it's like the best artist or best rap album. Like all of these awards are looked at as like less than a fucking Oscar. Like Oscar is the highest prestigious award you can ever get, like ever. And it's like Leo just got his. He just got his. Let's think about that for a minute. Leonardo DiCaprio just got his.
For the record. And there was a lot of movies where he instantly should have got one. I don't know if Titanic would be one of them, but it was definitely a great movie for him. But Wolf of Wall Street for sure.
That's my point.
He definitely, he bodied that shit.
It's nothing more crazier than being recognized outside. Yo, that's Jimmy. That's Jimmy. I just saw you in the movie. Fuck out of here. Like, you've ever had that feeling? No. It's a cool feeling to be like, oh, that's JT. This JT is my favorite artist. It's a dope feeling. But being a nigga from the movie that everybody loved, a classic. Yo, that's Smokey. Yo, that's Craig. A classic fucking movie that every fucking body loved. Soul to the Earth movie, and you're being recognized out in the day by people that don't like. It's a movie, bro. This isn't like, because movies touch way more souls than a song does. Like, there's people that actually don't like music. You know what I mean? And like, there's people that just run across movies like, oh shit, I wasn't even paying attention when this movie came on. Like, that's why a lot of artists jump into the film, or came from film into the music, because those two are like super synonymous, like probably more than any other brand.
Yeah, film is just as effective when you make videos, like I said before. Put out a video with a song, people are gonna hear the song, but they're gonna watch the video with it. It's a whole experience. That's what I want to do now too. Like, I would probably dabble into acting at some point. I have a little bit of theater / jazz / classical, whatever.
I believe anybody that's into music can be a great actor.
Of course.
Because of that amount of emotion that you have to express. Anybody that's good at music, I feel like they could be a great actor. And they usually are. Like, Eminem did a great job. You know what I mean? Like, this shit it'd be so easy to do because acting is reacting. So, and like, artists know how to do that shit more than
in music videos, you literally act out skits, scenes. There's directors. There's all that shit. It's all part of the image anyway. So like, music videos are like mini movies anyway.
That's my point, bro. So that's why I started writing and kept writing. I came up with a lot of good shit, bro. Like a lot of good shit that surprised me. And it's like, yo, like I said, I've never been more like, I feel fulfilled. And it's like, when I'm writing these things, I'm not writing it so people can see it. I'm writing it so I can watch it. Yeah, you can show it. I'm gonna roll up another one though.
Oh, so we say these.
Yeah, I was gonna put that too. Like, I feel fulfilled, bro. And I don't feel like I'm like I remember there was a point in time where I was writing music and I was hoping that people liked it. And yo, I hope people like it. Now when I write music, it's not that feeling. I don't give a fuck. I'm writing it because I know it's gonna add later to, maybe it's gonna be the background songs to one of my fucking episodes. Like maybe on one of these episodes I need one of the songs to play in the back. I know it's gonna play at a different factor on things that I'm in. And then me writing the fucking the scenes and writing out these series and shit. I'm not writing it because I want to know what other people think. I don't care. I'm writing it because I want to see what this shit looks like. Like as soon as I started thinking about this shit, I've been studying and watching so many things. Watched The Simpsons over. I watched Family Guy over. I watched all of these things. Like actually watched it. Like I remember when I was growing up, I never used to like watch it for like storyline. I used to just watch it for whatever jokes was played or whatever like funny antics they did on the show. But once I started watching like Simpsons and Family Guy and shit like that for like storyline and plot and shit like that, it's like yo, these things is insane. Think about the guy that plays Homer Simpson, Dan Castellaneta. Think about that guy. Think about how much fucking money he has when all he has to do is wear a hoodie and sweats, go into the studio and record some dope. That's insane. That's insane, bro. To think about how much we gotta think about when we go into the studio. When we sit in there and gotta really put in our fucking hearts and soul into a couple fucking minutes to make a song sound amazing. When Homer Simpson
sounds like fucking Homer Simpson. It could be anybody.
Like he could just anybody. That's my point. Like that's my point, bro. Like that's why I.
So really... let's say he dies or something. Some shit happens to him because at some point death is inevitable, unfortunately. But if he dies, there could easily be anybody, any way, shape, or form that could sound just like him.
Household name. And that's my point, bro. The nigga Matt Groening, the person that made Simpsons, he has, like, it's insane, bro. Like, how could you not want to have a hand in that? That's insane. I feel like that's really fucking insane when you're trying to chase millions through a song. When it's like you can have so many different revenues of it. And it's
you
like
literally create a show from scratch, like what you're doing, and voice act that shit.
And if it pops,
you're done.
You do one, like, this is what I'm thinking. You do one season, boom, it pops. Like, hypothetically, I create a show, right, the first season. It get picked up by fucking Netflix. That's insane, right? Get picked up by Netflix, now it's on Netflix. It's like we get taught that these things are important. Like, yo, we gotta look for that. We gotta chase for that. It's like, yo, son.
That's the thing, too, with sports. I only get excited when the Olympics come on. Because the whole world is watching. The whole world is actually united. The whole world actually
it's a bigger feeling when you feel like
it's an actual
changing
historic thing. Like, don't get me wrong, baseball, like all that shit, you know, the World Series, the Super Bowl, all that stuff, that's cool. It's cool. It's exciting, you know, it is what it is, like it has its purpose. But like, I watch all those things and I'm like, alright, cool. But it's not the whole world. It's not like the Olympics. The Olympics, you can watch all these different things and actually like
different people from different parts.
Like there was some
that's all fighting for
that I didn't even realize it can actually be a thing. Like there's actual channels for running, for track, and for gymnastics, and for dance, and for all this stuff. We don't watch all that stuff. There's ballroom shows. My mom actually puts on ball once in a while, like back in the day, like ballroom shows. You have So You Think You Can Dance, Dancing with the Stars, and all, but ballroom specifically, nobody watches that shit. And there's a channel for it. And we watch it just because, you know, like it reminded us of Shall We Dance and all those old school movies we used to watch. Even You Got Served and shit like that. Whatever. America's Best Dance Crew. Stuff like that.
Don't think about that shit, bro.
Feel me? Like,
it's a market for all of that type of shit.
But, like, we don't see that often. You don't see, like, there's, like, for example, I don't listen to a lot of artists. I know a lot of artists. I don't know a lot of albums. I don't know a lot of song titles. I don't know a lot of beat like that. I should know because I'm a late bloomer, right? But so many people talk about, you know, like you said, Kobe, Michael, LeBron, all that stuff. But like in Europe, there's Adele, there's Georgia Smith, there's, right? Stormzy. But then there's so many other artists that we don't know, but that they're in UK. There's a Spotify playlist of all these UK artists. There's Australian artists, all these different artists. There's South African, Asian. Like, to me, I realized at that point I shouldn't be so in my head because, you know, there's a whole world of that shit that I don't know about, that none of us may know about. we only know about what we know because Jay-Z, Beyonce, they're world famous, and then they go everywhere. Like, you know, there's like people that are from different parts of the world that are famous, but those are like the most talked about because they're the most known, the most prominent. They're the most forefront.
It's like the people in UK, their TV stations aren't the same TV stations that we have. Like, they don't have MTV over there, or it'll be MTV UK or some shit.
It'll be some shit that it's only them specifically towards their culture. Yeah.
That's why to us it seems like Jay-Z and Beyonce run the world because of the stations and the networks that cover our area are run by higher ups that are buddies with people that do business with Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's why it may look like they run this whole area over here. The second that you leave the United States and you go out somewhere in Europe and shit like that, it's a completely different thing. You'll be like, what the fuck? Oh, they don't even give a fuck about Jay-Z over here. Like, I mentioned Jay-Z and they laughing. Like, why are you even bringing him up? That's weird. We're talking about this person. It's like, you'll be like, oh, but he's pretty big where I'm from. Okay. They don't care about that. Just like how we wouldn't care if somebody came over here talking about some shit and we talking about Jay-Z. Like, what are you talking about? I don't care about that. We talking about hope. Like, it's a whole different aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So once you go back and forth, that's why the other artists don't work. Like, they don't look at these artists the same way unless you're a local artist. Like how Pop Smoke just started becoming a little bit. He started going to different places and shit like that. Alright, but like if you use somebody like 50 Cent, 50 Cent knows what the value that Jay-Z places and holds in like North America and over here in the United States, but he knows that it's not as big as what everybody thinks. He knows that. That's why none of these big artists ever look bitter, like when you're talking to them, or whenever you see them in a video or doing an interview. They don't look bitter. They look like they real comfortable and they real happy. Like Wayne, whenever I see Wayne looking happy, he don't look like he getting any kind of money taken away from him because another artist is big and they booking everything.
I saw him in the What's Poppin' video. He looked like he was Wayne.
It's such a big world, like how you were saying, it's such a fucking big world out here that it really don't matter. And it's just people's perspective over here. Like, once you get out and you start getting bags other places, it's like, I can't believe I was even worried about that shit. I can't believe I was even ever like saying like I want to be as big as Jay-Z. I can't believe I ever said that. Like, there's people that really think that once they get out of the States and they start venturing off and living life, like really living life. I was watching Wayne talk the other day on the podcast, and he was like, he was celebrating his 21st birthday. I was like, that sounds insane, because Wayne is way older than 21. And he was talking to this, I think it was Snoop, and I guess that's an ongoing thing that they do in the industry. Like how you just said, once you become famous, everything that happened before that kind of goes out the window and you start your whole new life. So, to Wayne, he's been famous for 21 years. So, that's him turning 21. That's how he looks at it. He doesn't look at it like he's however age that the fucking world sees him as. He sees himself as, yeah, I've known me for 21 years. Like, I've been Lil Wayne for 21 years. And that's how old Lil Wayne is.
Makes sense.
Right? That's a crazy way to look at it. And he must know what I was talking about time earlier. Like, time is really all perception. Like, it really don't matter. Like, you sitting here worried, not you, but like anybody is sitting there worried about like when it's gonna happen. But when it happens is when it happens. And when it does happen is when it does happen. And it's just amazing when it happens. But if you settle before it happens, it's like you gave up and something could have happened that was crazy and you just didn't want to see it through. And a lot of people, they don't have what it takes to like go through that type of life. Like, life of an artist is really lonely. It's probably one of the highest lonely occupations that you can take. Like, you have to express yourself in ways that other people have to feel like authenticity is to live that type of life. You have to live a life where it seems like you're away from things. It seems like you're not living a life that you would want to live. Yeah, you have to live that type of life if you want to put authenticity in it and you want to make it real. You have to experience it. And it's a very lonely life. It's not some shit that I would ever recommend to somebody. Like, it's a very lonely life. I feel like the life of an artist is not really some shit that you should look forward to. It's some shit that if you're doing, it's some shit you should feel like you have to do.
That's how I already feel.
Yeah, because
I have to make music.
if you start to feel like it's something that you want to do and it's something that, like, oh, I'm gonna do it, you'll start to feel it can get really depressing and it can lead to a lot of like dangerous thoughts. You have to feel like it's a calling, like how fucking preachers feel when they're knocking on everybody's door. They don't necessarily want to. They feel like they have to. They feel like they have to because they may reach somebody one day, and that's how it has to feel like as an artist. Like, you gotta feel like you gotta do this shit. You got to. It's not something that you feel like you can fight. It's some shit that is what brings you to peace. It's what brings you to the next day. Like, yo, I gotta do this shit. And then you got other things that you know you want to do. And then that's how you can be full with yourself. But I think a lot of people confuse the two, bro. Like, a lot of people fall into this slip because the idea of what comes with a successful artist is a lot of shit that people want. And once you want some shit, you gotta chase it. And yo, if you want it, you gotta chase it. No. No. This is not some shit you should want to chase. This is some shit you just feel like you have to be a part of. Because if you're not gonna do it, who else is gonna do it? That's how you gotta feel. Like,
Yeah.
like, I remember thinking like, that's why all of the people that I really like, they say that shit. Like, they really care about the people that they really touched and like they got to the next level in their life. Because it's like those are the reasons why that they feel like they can continue to do this shit. Because it's real lonely, bro.
Yeah.
Real lonely.
It feels that way for a while. You know, like we both can speak on that. Like, we different people. You know, the only thing that's similar with us is that we're both alone a lot of times. You know, like you have your sister here, and you know, my sisters are all spread out. Like my sister's in Jersey. Everyone's kind of reuniting. You know, because of my grandparents passing. So lately it's been kind of okay. I don't know, but like just to face a lot of stuff by yourself.
But then you wonder, and you probably don't. At this point, you probably don't. But in the beginning, you probably did. You wonder why you're so talented, JT. Because it's like, yo, I know how it's, bro. Remember, I was just saying like, the worst thing the artist has to do is sell himself. So like, I know how it feels to receive compliments. I know how it feels, bro. And it's like, I think about Ye in senses like that, because Ye was like, yo, you gotta know who you are. Like, I just told you I'm a god. Like, that's insane to say and think, but it's like the sentiment of that thought is really gratifying. You have to know who you are. And if you're talented, you have to know that, right? And because of everything you went through, bro, all of the moments that it felt like nothing was about to go good and you couldn't tell when things were about to go right, those moments is what really made you who you are, bro. And I mean that to every aspect, like with your singing, with your rapping, with your music, with your thinking. All of that shit is really what made you and what molded you to this person. There's so many people that wish that they went through that shit, and it's fucking sad. I've been talking to people that haven't went through any kind of real like tribulations, it's almost like they feel like they're missing something, like they're not authentic because they haven't went through that way. Like, because they don't have that one thing that they can look back to and say they overcame, then they're not really this person that they're trying to be. That's sad.
And that just creates another form of self-imploding.
That's what I'm saying.
If that's what it takes for them to become that, then sure.
A lot of
by all
people
means.
turn into, think about
Self-destruction.
child celebrities. I watched Miley Cyrus talk about this. She was saying, she was like, yo, when I'm out with my friends and shit, it's not the same. Like when I be out with my friends and we be out at parties and shit. And she's like, I look at them and they're having the time of their life. It's the most craziest night of their life. They're enjoying every bit of it. And she's like, but I just came off of a stage with millions of people screaming my name. She's like, and she's like, to be around my friends and to see them have so much fun. I want to have fun. I don't want to be a party pooper. And that's why I was about to say that shit could lead a lot of people to drugs. She said that led her to so many drugs because she wanted to match. She wanted to feel like she was having fun. She's like, there's nothing that can compare to like, because she's like, when you've been doing it for so long, it creates a numbing factor. Like, you don't, it's not like she doesn't appreciate her fans. That's never the question. It's just, what can compare to that when you live in a normal life now? You just stepped off the stage. Boom, amazing night. Boom, amazing show. But now you do have friends that don't live that life. And they are your friends, right? And they want to have a good night. I was about to go get lit. What is your version of lit if that's what you just came from? What's your version of lit? If my version of lit is just hanging out with my homies, you know, I don't do that type of shit all the time. So hanging out with a few celebrities and shit, that's a fucking crazy ass night for me. So my homie that's a celebrity, how do you think he feel or she feel? Like, it's a normal night. This is not nothing like special. So in order to feel special, like how you felt special, I got to do something a little bit more. A lot of artists fall to that, bro. A lot. Too many. Way too many, bro. And that's why I was saying, being young, having all of that money is not a good thing. Because you don't really have anything to compare it to. People like me and you, we went through fucking turmoil. So, no matter how much fucking clout we get, we'll always have some shit to go back to. We'll always remember a moment when we weren't shit. No matter how big we get, we'll always remember a moment when we weren't shit. And shit like that is how it saves a lot of people. Keeps them centered, keeps them loving. When everybody's telling you yes. You get famous, bro. Like I was talking about that bubble of people that ratifies your success. Everybody in that bubble is saying, yeah, that was amazing. You are amazing. You hear that shit every fucking day? Everybody, total strangers, saying you amazing, you changed their life. That's insane. What do you think that does to the human mind? It's not like it doesn't do anything. Like, and then the bigger you get, the bigger that bubble gets. Think about Chris Brown. Man, think about how much, like, he has mental conditions. He did coke. He probably still does coke. It's a hard life. Because it's like I was just telling you, Chris Brown was famous at a young age. So how many years does he has to compare to the years that he's famous? He has now been famous longer than the years that he hasn't been. So what can he really compare it to? What do you think fun to him is like? You go out, you like, yo, you get one night to hang out with Chris Brown. You go and hang out with Chris Brown. You with him for 4 hours. You hanging out with him, shit. You have an amazing time. How do you think he's feeling? He doesn't feel like this is an amazing time. And it's not to say that he doesn't care. It's just to say that these people live at a high range of like status, where it's like just to even peak that again, you have to do a lot, homie. Like you would have to show this person some shit that they haven't ever seen before. And 9 times out of 10, the best way to get there is drugs, though. Best way to alter your fucking situation, to alter your perception of whatever's going on. That's the best way to make it feel like something new, to make it feel like, yo, this is fun. That's
or I guess in this case, if you're on the come up, and Chris Brown, in this case, 'cause I love Chris Brown, if he fucks with you as an artist and he wants to work with you and y'all start collabing, then there's something special, quote unquote. Just the dynamic of having a good time.
To a degree, but look how many new artists is Chris Brown worked with. You'll just be another new artist. How fresh would it be, bro?
It depends.
It depends, yeah, on the artist, yeah. But it's like, come on. What do you like? Come on.
That's true.
Come on, he's done it all. At this point, Chris has done it all. And we can't even detest the shit that he hasn't put out and the shit that he's heard. You get what I mean? Like, there's so much more to it than just being like, I was watching, I know, I told you, I watch a lot of shit. I was watching Soul Train special. And there was this girl on there, and she was like, she finally met this girl that, and she worked at Soul Train, she was a dancer, but she also sung. She wanted to be famous. And it was a famous, you know how Soul Train has celebrities there that sung and shit like that. One of the backup dancers, she ran into the celebrity girl fucking room or whatever, dressing room or whatever. And she came in there and she sung and shit, and she was trying to tell her like, yo, I'm trying to be famous, like I'm trying to be like you one of my idols and shit. And then she was telling her like, yo, like that shit don't matter. Like you being like all like happy-go-lucky and trying to like get all of the shit that you want, that shit don't matter. And she started telling her like, yo, I can sing like this, I can hit this range, I can hit that range. She's like, yo, that shit don't matter. She's like, you know how many fucking people that can do that shit don't matter. What are you willing to give up for? That's what matters. And then that girl was like, yo, I think they gave up everything. And she was like, so then you almost did. That shit is so real because it's like you have to feel like that.
Sounds like the only way you can ever really be successful if you just feel that within, like, you have to do it, you just do it. I asked my guy the other day, how do you freestyle like that? He's like, I literally just play the fucking beat and do it. That's it. There's no other way around it.
That's true too.
You know?
I've noticed that whenever I drink a lot, when I get really drunk, I'm able to freestyle a lot easier. That has to do something with thinking.
When I'm high, I definitely fuck up more. But I also feel like sometimes when I'm high, I get so lost in the music in a good way. Because it's like, I mean, no, not the freestyling part, but like just like hearing the music for what it is, and then me realizing that like I want to be an engineer because like it's more than just lyrics. The sound is fire. Like anyone can spit the same bar. We can say the same verse. You know, whatever, just differently. It's not what we say, it's how we say it and how we execute it. And I want my production to equally match. You know, if I'm gonna do that shit.
Think about the Thong song, Cisco. He fucking put out 2 to 3 verses saying the same exact shit. Every verse. It's insane. And that song was like super fucking up.
He sang the first voice.
It was twice?
And then the third hook sing.
Like, that's insane, bro. And it was the same shit. It wasn't anything new on that shit. It was the same exact shit over and over. That was like the clearest example of what you just said. Like, it's really all about execution. Really all about like the way people hear it and gravitate towards it. It don't matter about the shit you saying, not necessarily. A lot of the times it does matter, but depending on what you're going for.
Well, even if that was the case, if it sounded fire, it sounded fire.
Let's see if this shit start recording.
It was recording the whole time?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Close it out. Got mad fucking time on that shit. Who was talking for a while, bro?
How long was that?
2 hours.
It's always good talk, man.
It's been another episode of Frequency. Episode 8. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
When JT came through, show us some love.
I have a single out called Declaration. It's on all sites. The music video, I'm sure I'll put the link in the description. My project, dailyproject.com, on all streaming platforms. Got a bunch of new stuff coming soon. And I have a friend named Ula Amari who dropped a collective EP, which I'm featured on, called Wish You Were Here. Also on all streaming platforms. Check that out. More music on the way, more updates. And yeah, thank you. Oh, misterjtmusic. Later.
We out this